interview segment number 1. This is with Mrs. Missy Westing.
Mrs. Westing.
All right. Just a couple of informal questions so we can put a broadcast together, let people know what's going on. First of all, what can you tell me about your faction's position on the current crisis?
I prefer not to call it a faction. Let's just call this Clare Ridge Village, which is, of course, the name of the part of town we're in. Faction means that we are no longer a part of everyone else. We are a community as we have always been.
Well, what can you tell me then about your particular community?
Our community is, as it has always been, maintaining the normalcy that is required. We have a public school. Our swim team is doing very well. And, of course, we had to cancel last track meet because of this whole bath soap business. But otherwise, our community is here for those of you who understand that the world is not coming to an end. The world's not coming to an end, all right? That's simply how it is. The world's not ending, despite what everyone else will tell you, is that's hysteria. What makes us different from the rest of the animal kingdom, other than thumbs, is that we have the ability to communicate and to share and to have manners and to maintain our lawns. These are the things that shape society, that shape a community. And by running around looting, slashing, killing, maiming, bath soaping, really all you're doing is going down to the ant layer of animals. And, of course, we are not animals. We are people. And people maintain society, maintain civility, and maintain civilization itself with our ability to control our fear. And that is the ticket. Here in our community, we must not succumb to fear. The bath soap people will be taken care of. And once the military and the police, though I don't know what they're doing right now, take care of these drug addicts and get them off our streets, tomorrow you'll wake up and the world will not have ended. You'll start going back to your jobs, and life, as it has been going for thousands of years, will continue on.
There are some who call you crazies. What would you say about that?
Next question. Okay, you're serious. You seriously? We're not crazy. We understand that the world isn't ending. As I said, running around shooting people is not the answer. Running around looting places of business is not the answer. Only by maintaining civilization, only by communicating, only through rising above what is occurring will we overcome it. If that's crazy, then I suppose I'm going to have to fall into the crazy camp.
So what would you personally like to say to all the frightened people of our community?
It is frightening out there. I understand that. The bath soap druggies are really scary. I've seen one or two, and yes, they're very frightening. But that doesn't mean that your lot grass is not going to grow. That doesn't mean your home isn't going to need repair. That doesn't mean you still don't have to put food on the table. These things can be done by working together, by overcoming that base primal fear. Use your thumbs and rise above it.
We hear that you and Mr. Deckard used to be tight, but you seem to have radically different expectations for the future now. Can you comment on that?
He is a bully who thinks with his fists and nothing more. Mr. Deckard is a man who lives by violence. You do realize that Mr. Deckard was on trial for murdering someone. No, I spoke to the marshal. He was being escorted by a marshal for having murdered someone. He uses his fists to resolve all problems. This violence, the belief that power and your ability to stomp on everybody else makes you okay. It creates an us-them environment because that's where he leads. Might over right. He rules through violence and his fists And he will be the downfall of anyone who follows him, because he will lead them to death, chaos, disorganization, and fear.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Westing.
I'm serious about Mr. Decker. You need to stay away from Mr. Decker. He's terrible. Fearmonger.